Welcome to Cartoonist Kayfabe. My name is Jim Rugg.
I'm Ed Piskor.
Ed, before we dive into Wizerd, the Comix Magazine, a couple of quick plugs. I have a Kickstarter right now for the world's first blacklight comic book, Octobrion in 1976. Again, you can find that on Kickstarter. It is going to be unique and one of a kind, and you definitely want to check that out.
You say that in past tense, it's going to be, or the future tense. The comic is done. The comic is ready to go. Jimmy just needs to know how many of you guys out there want this thing to hit your doorstep. So as soon as that Kickstarter is over, these things are going to be printed, man.
Yeah,
the next day.
Give the printer the green light with the order number at that point. So act on that now.
Super cool, man. My Patreon is up and running, and I am serializing Red Room pages, the pages to my latest Outlaw comic. That's patreon.com/edpiskor. Both of these links are in the tagged below in the comments. And right now I have about 94 pages of Red Room out. Are finished, and I'm serializing them every Tuesday on the Patreon. Gonna be good for a while, man. That thing's gonna be steady updated.
And it is the Outlaw comic in the world today. Like, they don't make comics like this anymore. I'm not sure they ever did, Ed.
You gotta make a thing a success, and then there will be more. And we are in the business of making the things that we want to exist in the world. I want more Faustian comics. I want more Crow-like comics. So I'll take some time out of my year and fucking make one.
Sounds great to me. I love what I've seen so far. So find that at patreon.com/edpiskor.
Yes, all the links will be below. But let's extol the virtues of the Cartoonist Kayfabe Brain Trust. These are the people that we've accepted into the fold of Cartoonist Kayfabe, man. Gooble gobble, we accept you, one of us, man.
This is one of the coolest zines I have ever seen. You can see the spine there. This is a heavy-duty major project. This is an 8.5 by 11, like 250-page, full-color zine, all about comics.
Yes, but, being more egotistical, snobbish, and elitist, we gotta make note of what we have on the cover here. So we got Eddie P. This is like Eddie P in the circa early 2000s, man, when I had the big JVC headphones and the little wrist gimmicks. So it's like Jimmy, Ed, there's Tom, man. He's like a super scrawl, with the thing kind of gimmick. But there's my guy from WYSIWYG, Street Angel in the house, Flavor Flav, because, I have limited characters, you know what I'm saying, man? Aphrodisiac. Harvey Pekar makes an appearance. I think about that guy every day, man. So, dude, this is an amazing labor of love from our Kayfabe audience. And I'll say it here and now, man. There's not another audience out there as special as ours. It's very cool that we have what we have going on.
Absolutely. And all credit to them, man. They put this thing together. So way to go, guys. And that's their gang, the Cartoonist Kayfabe ringside seats. And all of the artwork, all the articles in here are by members of the Kayfabe Brain Trust.
And if Jim and I don't accept you, maybe the Cartoonist Kayfabe ringside seats will, but be respectful.
Yes. So we're going to just work our way through here.
Oh, look at this, man. We might stop at every page, man, because, look at that Jimmy looking like Cabot. Eddie P with the couch shoulder pads, man, like the JR Cable miniseries.
It's awesome. An Etch-a-Sketch version of us.
Oh, man.
A really nice Diana Schutz portrait, too, that we'll get to. You can see here the contents, interviews with a number of cartoonists and publishers, people behind the scenes as well, some comics, and features. It's a pretty loaded, like I said, for a comics zine, there's a lot in here. Eli Schwab intro. This is the guy who pretty much behind this, who actually organized it, put it together, got it to the printer, and that's his intro editorial to the fans.
Yeah, super cool, man. That he would take the time to put such a big kind of project together.
It's a big project, and man, we see fanzines, and I love them, and it's really great to see one that's about the comics that I like.
I don't even know how you do this, by the way, man, because this is us in is it Kansas City?
It is, yeah. Wow.
Us in North Carolina. He must have put a call out to people yo, send us your fucking Kayfabe photos or something, man. There's shit from North Carolina.
It's amazing. And then sprinkled in amongst those, Mike Mignola, Robert Crumb. This is
George Perez with a dude with the Kayfabe shirt.
Like the paparazzi, the comics paparazzi out there gathering up some cool cartoonist Not just us, but certainly we are featured.
Yeah.
I like that part.
Yeah, right in the midst of Frank Zappa and Jack the King Kirby. Gotta love it.
Incredible. Hey, man. Dennis Kitchen sighting.
Oh, that's you right next to. Oh, that's Dink. See, that's Denver.
Yes.
What were you about to say?
You're there too.
That ain't me.
Oh, that's Noah. I'm sorry.
Yeah, that's Noah Van Sciver.
Oh man, I feel bad. It was in the margin. That's an honest mistake.
Throw a rock, you're gonna hit a independent Throw a rock at an indie comic show, you're gonna hit a skinny white dude with glasses who makes nerdy comics.
Well, how about this, Ed? I'll redeem myself here with some envelope art featuring Red Room fan art.
How about that lettering? Made of guts.
Made of intestines.
That's so awesome, man.
It's so perfect. Love the envelope art, something we always highlight in the Wizerd magazines. Gotta love a Lobo piece of envelope art there.
And this might be busting on us here, man. Pulling ribs on us because they're using Rye, Magnus, and Dr. Solar. Or I guess he was just Solar.
Yeah, it's that's a Valiant one. I don't know if I can endorse Valiant on its own, but cool envelope art nonetheless.
The audience rules, and they like to throw their little ribs out there every now and again, man. When we lean heavy and talk smack on crappy old comics.
Pretty interesting. This is a retailer, and I don't know their store. Nicholas Ignacio doesn't list the store, which, unless I'm overlooking it somewhere, but kind of talking about his connection to indie comics, specifically how he found our comics long before Cartoonist Kayfabe, but also just talking about retailers and the value of looking beyond Diamond to find good comics to carry in your store and the long relationships that come out of that.
This is so good because this is a screen capture probably, unless you had a photo that you slid to him of our time. But Spreadshop is where we went for the longest time as a vendor of our t-shirts and stuff. And we sell those motherfuckers by the baker's dozen every day, man. In fact, we've recently sold a ridiculous amount thanks to a lot of extra coverage on the net, man. So thanks for that. Keep it up. Spread the word. They asked, man, can you just look at a comic so that we could get a little portrait? And you were looking at Faust, safe bet. But this one came in, Amputee Love, and I thought that was the one that should have went into your hand.
Yeah, I agree, and I love it. That's the perfect author photo as far as I'm concerned.
And by the way, in future fan art, Amputee Love has shown up at least 3 times in thumbnail drawings and other places.
So this is an interview with me kind of covering my background in comics, but also these cool sidebars, like the top 5 80s ninja comics. I love this stuff. And this book is populated with a lot of these kinds of things, call-outs. So it's pretty fun, man. This is the spirit of comics fandom as far as I'm concerned that I love being a part of. Honorable mentions include The Tick, by the way, a comic we recently covered.
Check that video out.
Top 5 black and white Boom comics. Ed, we've covered several of these as well. Still a few left to go, but I recommend the Dragon Chang and the Crow videos that are available now. And some examples of our t-shirts there from our spread shop. Lightning Round with Ed Piskor.
Yeah, when see you're much more charitable with your time because you did that multi-page piece, and Eli sent me about 50 questions, man, and I said, dude, you got to choose 5. You got to choose 5 because I just had so much shit going on, and I generally hate text, email interviews because essentially you're doing all their work for them. You know what I mean? Here's a 10-word question, and then I write 50 words. Compound that by 50 questions, and it's I don't know, man. Cost benefit. I don't know that I should not be inking some panels.
Well, you made the most of it, Ed, because I love this question about creating comics grand design, and your highlight list of that is, I would read that book in a heartbeat and buy several of them for my friends. So definitely worthwhile, but I love the graphic of you with this piece of screen tone behind you. It's one of those more interesting screen tone panels. Really looks cool. And then top 5 Outlaw artists.
Yeah, we see some repeating themes, man. Look at Eric Talbot.
Nice ad for the Ed Piskor Studio Edition.
How cool is that, man?
Yeah, Eric Talbot. Even those ad pages are really great. Eric Talbot, a guy that we've briefly mentioned in some of the comics we've looked at and probably will look at again in the future. So Tom Scioli, honorary Kayfabe member, been on several of our videos. One of the favorites that we hear from feedback.
Whenever this damn virus goes away, we're gonna be able to reconvene, man. Because Tom is sheltering in place with his peoples, and I certainly don't want to slip up and give him anything that he's going to take back to his peeps.
But something all of you can take back to yours is this Jack Kirby, The Epic Life of the King of Comics that Tom Scioli's been working on for the last bit. It comes out soon.
Yes.
So you can order this thing right now wherever books and comics are sold. And man, is it a doozy.
Make sure you do, man. We'll be sure to Zoom with him or something. Get him on the channel so that we could hype things up.
Tom's top 3 top 5s. So you get the top artists, the top comics movies, and the top Kirby books. Pretty good stuff to pull from Tom.
Yeah.
If anybody knows good Kirby books, it's Tom.
I like seeing Dredd on his list of top 5 comic movies. And of course, he went with the Dick Donner Superman as opposed to the these late ones.
This book is also full of comics, both new and like public domain stuff. This is a guy who we have looked at, and I'm looking for his name here. It's Missimo.com is where you can find his stuff. But good cartoonist, as you can see from what's on screen right now.
Almost every comic that we look at in here is from somebody who showed up in one of our mailbag episodes, and Eli either knew them previously, dug their work, reached out to them. It makes sense that they participate in the Wizerd magazine. Bill Gaines was right, and Frederick Wortham can eat a dick.
And you can get this image from the CBLDF. Mark Palm, this was an early mailbag book that we looked at, The Fang, that is in that paperback size that I love. Man, fun comic.
Mark works at Fantagraphics, publisher of the world's greatest cartoonists, and you know they're true because they publish both of our works over time. But he's kicking it at the warehouse. Last I checked, man. So when you order some books from Fanta, Mark is stuffing those envelopes, man. But that's just a means to an end, so that he could draw some fucking crazy comics by night.
Yeah. Amazing art. So again, following the Wizerd template, we get to see some a nice selection of different artists.
But look at this, Mark Palm 93. Like, he participated in legit. This ain't kayfabe, you know.
Wow, I think you're right. That's another one. Palm 92. This is all Mark Palm.
That's sick.
That's amazing. Genius. I didn't even realize that. A showcase of Mark Palm Wizerd art. Wow. Well done, Mark. These remind me, they're not exactly that, but Wizerd used to have like the make your character pages. Very much following along that path. And advertising, again, comics, new comics, as well as old comics are what we're going to see in here.
Punker Mike is one of the kayfabe generals, 4-star generals out there, man. And he's an impeccable, like, creator of weird shit.
Makes very cool looking stuff.
Nintendo cassettes. He made us Cartoonist Kayfabe VHS
Love
tapes.
it.
I'm going to go grab one real quick, man. Just to show the work. Once again, man, here's exhibit B of why our audience fucking is the coolest audience in comic book YouTube. Just crack that open real quick, Jimmy, man. Show these people the Be Kind Rewind fucking sticker. Like, this dude is thorough.
It's so perfect. It's a real VHS and cover. It's so good. I love this so much. If you're of a certain age, it just melts my heart.
Yeah.
I remember seeing this, Ed, and this was early on that Punker Mike made this and sent it to us. Blows me away.
Yeah.
Love it.
Our audience is real heads, man, who make real shit. Jim Mahfood? The man, the myth, dude. He's like we've had him on the channel. He was on the Read More Comics stuff when we were talking Miracle Man, and when he came right back from Japan, we had a conversation. But during that talk, I told him, man, we need to have you on the channel when Jimmy's around because we have to do the proper shoot interview. Has one of the most amazing careers in comics of anybody near my peer group. You know, broke into the game drawing comics for Kevin Smith. You know, that's a big audience to begin with.
Yeah, and this is Han Allred. This is about the movie that he's making about Mike Allred.
Oh, okay.
And so, like, that's why you're seeing some of these different voices that intersect with that. I believe that's what this all is.
Yeah.
So kind of cool. It's one of those projects that is also coming out of a certain version of fandom. I think that's the name of it. Space Face is the movie. So
And look at this. It's been a long time since I saw Mike Allred, but he's got like a full sleeve tattoo, man. Like last time I saw him, he was a very like clean cut Mormon boy from Pacific Northwest.
man, I love seeing everybody's studio. It's very cool to see his studio.
And with a glove on, it almost looks like he's doing a tattoo.
Yeah, it kind of
It
does.
looks like a tattoo parlor kind of thing.
I saw him one time. We were at like the same, traveling the same route at one point, and he had like a travel kit. I've mentioned it on the show before, but it was just a little plastic kit with his pens and markers and ruler and stuff, everything you would need to make comics anywhere. And that dude there's a reason he has made so many comics.
Yeah. Another sample of comics. Like all of these comics at one point or another have shown up on a Kayfabe mailbag.
This is an interview with Gary Carlson, who was the creator behind Megaton Comics, where Eric Larson started out.
Rob Liefeld got some early work with him too, man. An important guy in 80s comic fandom. Kind of was single A baseball for some of the biggest creators of the early 90s.
Yeah, and if you were our age and reading Image Comics, you would see him pop up in like Vanguard and some of the titles from Image.
Yeah. He did it. He did a kindness for a young Eric Larson, brought him into the fold, and when Eric got some critical mass, he was able to bring him into the game.
Zombie Outlaw. I do love the mishmash of what all these ads create. Like it's such a just a wild mix of where comics are these days.
That's true. But there's definitely continuity to the package.
This is about a Jackie Chan zine, which, again, we looked at on a mailbag episode, but showcasing kind of the creativity of the people that are hanging out and killing time watching us.
It's the thing that thrills me the most, man. Like every single day, like I get messages, DMs, emails from people who are just like, dude, you just made the day go by a little bit easier. And that is totally what I was hoping for, because I myself was looking for good comics chatter on YouTube, and it just doesn't exist. So if the thing doesn't exist, you got to make it.
So talk about inside comics. Inside comics. This is an ad parody of a Savage Dragon ad parody of Spawn ads from the early 90s, if I'm not mistaken.
Did you guys keep up with that? I think
If you know what that means, you know what that means, and otherwise I can't explain
I
it.
think something exploded in my head.
By the way, David Brower's artwork here, this is the cover artist.
Yes.
The great cover artist with a bit of an Akira homage here for War Party.
Yeah, he's a great artist, man.
Love this too. A bunch of creator portraits, including us.
Of course, man. Are you saying we shouldn't be next to Will
No,
Eisner?
I'm not saying that at all. Michel Fife's Copra comes to Image Comics. So Tony McMillan, an artist that has contributed a lot to the mailbag episodes, and very good cartoonist himself, is celebrating one of his favorites with Copra, which I've seen him write about online. Pretty cool to see Michel Fife in here, one of my favorite cartoonists. Vintage comic artist profiles by Mars Eve. It's such a wealth of information.
Yeah. Yeah, there is amazing stuff in here that we've yet to, like, I mean, did we even go halfway?
We're getting there. I'm trying to go fast, Ed. But Hostess ads, Diana Schutz, A Life in Comics. This is an awesome article and something I learned a lot about Diana Schutz. Kamiko's editor, I think maybe editor-in-chief at one point at Kamiko, had a long tenure at Dark Horse working with everybody. Frank Miller, all the top people that rolled through Dark Horse. She certainly has a life in comics, and it's pretty fascinating. Like the very earliest origins of her is editing a fanzine, which led her to Kamiko. So kind of cool how that all connects.
Yeah. I mean, it's paramount that we get her on the channel as soon as possible, because she's got to have stories to tell.
Whoops. Yeah, this is probably one of the standout articles in here. There was a picture of her there with Will Eisner, pretty great. Palmer's Picks by Tom Palmer Jr. It wouldn't be Wizerd if you didn't have Tom Palmer Jr. contributing.
That's right.
So he just talks a little bit about some of the highlight Palmer's Picks columns that he wrote from back in the day, and some notes about a few of those standouts. We love Palmer's Picks. Introduced me to so many of the comics that we talk about on this show. Very cool to see. Yeah.
By the way, this Wizerd magazine is but one thing that has come to see fruition, man. Like very early on, we did a video, Image Grand Design, where we were kind of pitching the idea. Like you have the initial Founding Father books. Like how do you make them all fit the Grand Design headline? Like how do you get them all to work as a single unit? And we pitched the idea. Just playing around, man. Put it out there like, Kayfabers, why don't you go draw this stuff? God damn it, if they're not drawing this stuff, and I get slid pages every day, we'll call that Exhibit C for why our audience fucking rules. Congratulations for being part of the Kayfabe Brain Trust.
It absolutely blows my mind, and there aren't too many comics I'm more excited to see than the finished Image Grand Design that they're making. It's going to be the greatest bootleg comic of all time. Daniel Mahler, another artist that we've showcased.
Yes.
This is a fun one, the Kayfabe effect. So this is basically highlighting some of the comics that we've talked up, and the Kayfabe effect, for anybody new to the channel, means they're a little more expensive after we showcase them, and you try to track them down after episode.
If you could find them at all. like the new policy for everybody basically has been, you subscribe to the channel, you got to hit that bell, because when the video goes live, you skim the video. Does it look like a comic you need that you didn't know about before? Because if it is, you got to go on eBay, got to go on Amazon right away before the audience starts to mark those prices up.
We're going to have to start a Patreon for Cartoonist Kayfabe, just for the Kayfabe effect, where you sign up just to get the inside scoop on what we're going to be.
You know what? That ain't bad. That ain't bad. I mean, Domu sprung up in price, man. Dragon Chang for a little while, like people are dusting these off now, but immediately after, this thing was going for $50. When if you would have just went to Tim Truman's own website, could have got it for cover price, man. But people were making those emotional decisions.
This is also incredible because they list things like what episodes these books are mentioned in, and sometimes it's a lot.
Yeah.
Faust has been mentioned quite a few times.
We got to actually do like a proper like issue one. Like there was a sample one at the very beginning, but that was just a sample piece, man. You got to we learned to talk a little bit better on the mic.
Absolutely. Speaking of Timothy Truman and Dragon Chang, interview with Timothy Truman. One of my favorite creators. Really cool to see these guys in the same magazine as us. Very fun.
And one of the first questions is like, how happy are you that Ed and Jim talked about Dragon Chang one time?
That's amazing. Oh, here we go. Centerfold, badass, combination of Spawn and Cable and Cartoonist Kayfabe. It is a match made in heaven, Ed.
We did a signing down in North Carolina. Heroes aren't hard to find, man. Shelton Drum, the proprietor. Thank you for bringing us down, man. Met homeboy. Gave me that piece of art. Got it hanging up in my foyer.
Very, very, very cool. It's great pieces. Tony McMillan, who wrote the Fife piece, and I mentioned as being a good creator, Serious Creature. Is that the name? Not sure that's the title of his book. Yeah, Serious Creatures. And Lumen is the other one that we've looked at.
Yeah.
He's a fun follow because he does drawing videos, very prolific, and he draws with a chisel tip pen that creates a pretty unique approach. And there are a few cartoonists that use it. It's a great tool. I've drawn with it some and had fun, but man, he's like a wizard with it. So fun guy to follow, Tony McMillan. And top 5 most influential comics. The sidebars are some of the best parts.
Yeah, he's a boy of the 90s, no doubt. And here's some of Tony's work.
Oh, great.
Yeah.
Perfect. Interesting color approach, too. I talk about his line art, but don't sleep on the coloring. That's just a great page layout. Here we go. Serious Creatures. Chasing the Savage Dragon.
How great is this, man? Instead of a Spar ad for Atomic Comics, we got Jamie Filer, man, doing his Spar cosplay Atomic Comics ad. This is as thorough as you could possibly be.
This is another one of those inside comics, because Atomic Comics used to advertise in Wizerd, and we would always talk about the artist and what happened to him. Where's he at? Well, we might not have that answer, but we do have Atomic Comics represented.
The thing is, we did get the answer, and it's anticlimactic. You know, the guy just doesn't do comics anymore. But this is incredible. This is like when you know you got like a lifer in terms of like our audience, not like, you know, a fickle lame-o or something.
By the way, pretty good Faust. Stabbing somebody through the head. This is nuts.
Yes.
I didn't even know what to say about this.
Yeah, I wonder if he shakes them loose or like just has a bunch of etch-a-sketches, man.
Yeah, incredible. You can follow this artist at JRoamCab, JRoamCab, and he posts these etch-a-sketch portraits and art and character drawings. Wild.
Yeah.
I've tried drawing with etch-a-sketch. That is one
Frustrating.
tool I could not master.
Very frustrating.
Very cool. And it's neat to see him doing some of our artwork, interpreting some of our characters. I can't believe that's even real. And then another great centerfold.
There it is, Van Jobbers beware.
I love it so much. Punker Mike doing like the toy column.
He's got an incredible YouTube channel where he just like shows the creation of these customized toys that he does, where he just kit bashes existing figures and then turns them into cooler versions of the stuff that's already out there. So like the Joker thing is a video that's definitely up there that I remember watching. He just like takes some other heads because he's like, yeah, you know, I mean, this is me talking, but like, you get so much mileage out of the McFarlane Joker figure, and there's a better way, and he figures that shit out, man. Soldering, Dremel tools, all that stuff that makes your hands rough, the stuff that cartoonists don't know about. Punker Mike knows about it, man.
This is a great column and spread and not parody, but continuation when you think of like those early Wizard toy columns.
Yeah.
I just love this.
And these are other kit bashers and people who make toys. It's a whole subculture, man. Like you go on Instagram and you will see people like not only do they make these things, but they are able to create like these amazing dioramas and take just beautiful photos of the stuff. It's a whole subculture unto itself.
Yeah. It's a great legitimate great spread because of the information that's on there. Very strong. I'm not positive. I think this is documentary with some different creators.
This is incredible, man, because like I would hang out with kids who had computers before Moore's Law made it possible for my family to afford them. And this is called ANSI artwork. Like on old comps, there would be like a string of characters you could hit like by holding some of those weird shift type control alts and all that, and then you just get like a little square of color, and it was the infinite canvas. Now obviously your computer can only hold so much memory and shit, so you couldn't make it infinite, but like this would be the era where you could do it, like when Doom was out and shit, and it's just like keyboard clacking and getting square and making art. This was a whole subculture for a long time. It's long gone. I have no idea how they saved this kind of shit. Use screen caps or whatever. Have no idea, because this would be DOS days.
Do you? I mean, is this stuff that's done now?
No,
like,
I've seen some of these. Oh, well, you know what? Maybe, but I've absolutely have seen like Image Comics related ANSI artwork.
Wow.
That from back in those days, because it was the speculator boom.
That's super rad, because this is stuff I don't know anything about how to make it, but I love looking at it.
My friend Jason Scott had made a documentary about BBSs. If you just go on like the pirate channels or even YouTube, you type in BBS documentary, you'll find it, and there's a whole episode on the ANSI art subculture, and it really gets into the details, because I'm just speaking from conjecture. I was 10 years old when this shit was going down.
Man,
look,
I dig it.
It gets deep. Fucking Megaton Man.
It's awesome. It's so good. Hunkin' Babe. Who
Yeah.
else could it be? Love that Tom's a part of it.
Yeah, he's got his rock star hair going.
Bobby Madness I know from like Dylan Williams and Tim Goodyear.
Oh, that's cool.
Like super underground mini comic artist that's been around for I think decades.
Is that Jim Phillips or something?
No, that's him.
Oh, okay.
Real Madness Comics is one of his titles.
Dig.
Pretty deep pull to get into like contemporary underground, and actually Dylan is referenced here, who ran Sparkplug, and goes back to his comic relief days in Berkeley. Dylan used to, on his lunch hour, take expensive comics, go photocopy them, and then share them with other cartoonists, because like there weren't reprints, but
Right.
it was like, you need to look at this cartoon, you need to look at these classics that you can't afford. Man, that guy deserves his own zine.
For sure.
I'm not sure what some of these are.
It's more comics that would have probably shown up on
Right.
the Kayfabe mailbags, man. Sorry if we ain't calling out the name right at this moment. More Atomic Comics shit. Or no, it's Atomic Press. Plastic Flame. We met those guys. A dude and his son, man, in North Carolina. Super cool people.
Yeah, and all these credits are on here, and you can find this. There's a digital version of this available where you can find, go deeper into all of this stuff, spend more time on all these pages, because it really is this showcase of just all kinds of stuff. Basil Wolverton?
Yeah.
How great is it that Basil Wolverton is in here? Again, man, you warm my heart when you put Basil Wolverton in a book with me.
Straight up, man. I mean, the audience is super literate when it comes to, like, that's what we've cultivated here, man. Is like, let's not go with surface elements. We don't give a fuck about, top 10 worst Rob Liefeld drawings or any of that bullshit. Let's get into the real heart of the matter.
By the way, when you're putting together your fanzines at home, go find some of this public domain art and show it off. Your fanzine will always be better with Basil Wolverton in it. I believe this is Kirby, early Kirby comics?
It's weird because, like, some of that doesn't look very Kirby-ish, but some of it does.
Yeah.
Might have a weird embellisher, weird inker.
Pretty cool. Some Kirby statistics of, man.
And that's the shit that we called out in a video.
Yeah.
Like, see, like, everything is related to some video that we did.
This is actually, I like this a lot. I don't know when this is from, but early Kirby is, there's no bad era of Kirby comics.
Not at all.
Alexis Zarot art.
Love it.
This has a little of that blacklight flair to it.
His color palette is totally cribbed. I see a lot of people trying to do the Alexis Zarot color palette.
It's good looking stuff, man. And then Count Dante homage ad. Again, we've got a video of Count Dante, and that's an ad that has been parodied a million times. Bernie Moreau. Pretty cool, man. The Jam. At some point, we're gonna take a closer look at the Jam.
Yeah, I'm with it, man. Jam comics were some of my very earliest, thanks to my old uncle who raided many a flea market.
Jim Mahfood's Skull Funk Radio.
Mixtapes and stuff. We met this dude in North Carolina.
Jamie Jones?
Yeah, he makes real cool comics. I actually, and this ain't, like, I remember the bow tie.
Ah.
He was dressed to the nines.
Oh, yeah, I remember the
why?
baboon.
Yeah, totally. Yeah. Because our audience is sophisticated, Jimmy. We're highfalutin comics patrons of the ninth art.
Some of these, I think, are you get a profile of the artist and then a sample of their comics.
Yeah.
This looks like an interesting one.
Like an Arrows comic.
A little bit, yeah, Arrows. Perfect.
This almost looks like an Arrows comic. Right here. And see, once again, deep cut, man. Wiz and the Iceman.
That's hilarious.
These guys showed up one day. I think you had a cough, and I had insomnia. I couldn't record that day. These two guys showed up, and they did an Outlaw Comics episode
Yeah, man.
that was very popular.
Some illegal type comics, some real bootleg kind of stuff.
The one dumb fuck on the left kept calling the other guy Jim, though.
Cosmic Lion is Eli Schwab, the guy behind this. So does podcasts, does his own comics, makes zines, some ads for him. These are top 10 Wizard's top 10 hottest artists. I feel like a little insider that we're on this list, but hey, however you can get there.
Heavy is the head that wears the crown, and when you create your own comics fiefdom, you get to be number one. But you see, they did it wrong because we should share that slot. In history, they don't really exist much anymore, but I looked it up, Jim, and there was a thing called either a duarchy or a diarchy. And it's not tomato or tomato, it's D-I-A-R-C-H-Y or D-U-A-R-C-H-Y, and it just means 2 leaders.
That
You know
makes
what I mean?
sense. That makes
so you
sense.
could have the left hemisphere, I'll have the right. We'll flip our name coins to decide who gets which hemisphere, man. But the fact of the matter is, and the fact of the matter that sort of like gives a lot of people hemorrhoids, we rule.
Guide to Grading Comics. This was a feature in early Wizards that drove me nuts because
Yeah.
it was the same every month and made me furious But you look at this, and the top point system deslabbed.
Deslabbed.
If your comic was once slabbed by one of the random companies and you crack that sumbitch out and use a little grading tag as a bookmark, you earned a bonus 20 points. Amen. I endorse that, and my books are not even bagged. Man. I want to be able to pull those things out and read them as fast as possible.
There are no real kayfabers who have slabbed comics. They don't care about that shit.
It is a different way to interact with comics than one I'm interested in.
And here we are. This is the highlight.
This is amazing.
This is the highlight of the whole magazine.
Eclipse Comics checklist. Eclipse is a company that has really revealed itself to me going back into the 80s as being like the indie comic publisher of that decade. And it was before my reading time. So like I just did not realize how much they published and how much good stuff they published. This checklist will help all of you learn from my mistakes.
Yeah, and I may use that checklist.
It's incredible, man. I would love to see one of these all filled out and stuff.
I bet I'm not that far away, to be honest with you.
There's so much great stuff, though, and like they really, once we started doing this and digging, I realized like Eclipse published every indie comic I liked in the 80s.
New Wave right there, man. That's where you're going to get your earliest Lee Weeks.
Power Comics, early Dave Gibbons and Brian Boland.
Yeah,
Dave Gibbons comes up on the Dave Gibbons episode a little bit.
Not to be confused with the comics done by the Christian Power team. They exist.
Tim Truman's Scout, obviously, one of the early Eclipse comics that I was super into. But this is great. I just love this so much. Scott McCloud's beginnings at Zot. What a publisher. They did a lot. And then the Wizerd Indie Price Guide. Pretty fun tip of the cap to Wizard's notorious price guide. And a few more ads to round things out here. Underground Comics order form.
Yeah, we had some pork come to the crib.
And the Wizard profile, probably my favorite one since Will Eisner. Here's looking at Jim Mahfood.
Let me explain
and
this.
His Japanese photo, by the way.
Let me explain this photo, man. Because Jimmy was heading out to Tokyo, and he knew I was there for a month. So he hits me up and is just like, dude, what's all the stuff that's fresh in your mind? What do I need? Blah, blah, blah. And we started talking in text, and it fucked up immediately because he asked me, like, what kind of internet do you use out there? And I said, I use something called it was called Tokyo Internet Buddy is what it's called. So I put, I just use Tokyo Internet Buddy, and he's like, oh, Wi-Fi, and I'm like, let me call you because it's a company called Tokyo Internet Buddy, and you carry this little
yeah, it's like the Who's on First bit.
Totally, and I had to actually call him to basically let him know that under no circumstances would I ever call somebody I respect buddy. You know, I just would never do that. So we're talking for hours, and I'm just like, yeah, blah, blah, blah. And then I was like, oh, Jim, the one thing I regret about being back home right now is that I missed this opening that Otomo was doing in Shibuya at this store. Whenever they were constructing this building, outside of the building of the construction site, there was maybe a 25 wall mural of Akira, and they're doing an art exhibit all around that mural. Like, people, you could buy the 28 slats in small size and just kind of set it up as a frame in your house. Like, you could buy bigger ones if you have a giant space. And I'm like, dude, Otomo's gonna be there. Like, when do you land? And he landed the day before my people. Incredible.
Very awesome. And
last good movie he saw, Petey Wheatstraw, The Devil's Son-in-Law. Rudy Ray Moore, baby.
I was going to go to Why Does He Watch Cartoonist Kayfabe? Extensive Chap Yape coverage.
I would say that's a great place to end it, but truly the greatest place to end it is right here, man. We'll call it Exhibit D of why the Cartoonist Kayfabe privileged audience that we've accepted into the fold, man, are unlike any other. There it is, man. The Pittsburgh Powerhouse. Right there.
Yeah, we're not going to do better than that, Ed.
Cool. Jimmy, this poops me out. I'm super thrilled, but guys, Wizerd was a monthly book. Chop, chop. Let's get to it. Hit him with some Kickstarter intel.
Look up Octobrion in 1976, the world's first blacklight comic book on Kickstarter right now by yours truly.
Serializing Red Room Comics on Patreon. That's patreon.com/edpiskor. First quarter of issue number 1 is out on the site right at this very minute, man. Go read that stuff before any outsiders get to take a peek. Subscribe to the Cartoonist Kayfabe YouTube channel. If you hit that bell, it's going to prevent the Kayfabe effect from fucking you up. And you'll be one of the first to know about our next videos, and you could decide if you need to buy that comic right away or not, man. What else?
Subscribe to the Cartoonist Kayfabe e-newsletter at the links below the video. Pick up Cartoonist Kayfabe merch and shirts at the links below the video. And man, those shirts are flying out the door right now.
Crazy.
So thank you all for that.
And thanks to the Cartoonist Kayfabe audience, man. You are unlike any other. Mad respect to all of you. Shouts to the people in the comment section. Jimmy, without further ado, if you got nothing else, I got nothing else, man. Give them their marching orders. Let's bounce.
Read more comics.